Perfect picture to settle it on the field.
Speaking of perfect pictures, how about this? The weather, 35 degrees, snow is in the forecast, and for Stanford, that's rare. The last time they played in snow, 1936 at the Polo Grounds against Columbia.
The Neiman Lions.
Petros was on the sideline that day, I think.
It's rough.
Eric Powell is kicking off to Cameron Scarlett and Dorian Maddox. Washington State won the toss. They deferred. It'll be Maddox from the 5. Maddox has a hole. Maddox has got a blocker. Down the sideline, tackled at the 50. They'll mark him down at the 51-yard line.
Big time start for Stanford here. They do a great job splitting it to the boundary. It's a boundary return for Stanford. You can see the crease right there. There's nobody for the off returner to block until he gets to the kicker. And a great finish by Sherman to save the touchdown.
And our first look at KJ Costello. Taking over for Keller Christ. He won the job this week in practice. It became an open competition, and he won it. And the good news for Stanford fans, he's joined in that backfield by number 20, Bryce Love. And there's a surprise on first down, the handoff to Love. And Love will take it up to the 45 to pick up 4. Jalen Thompson with a tackle. With Stanford with the ball, what are we looking for?
Well, you've talked about it with the defense and with Bryce Love. That's Batman. Now we need a Robin, and KJ Costello just needs to be consistent. Take what's given, and then you flip it over. I think this guy is the most exciting interior lineman in college football. Hercules Mataafa, unbelievable guy in the backfield. A load for the Stanford front.
Second down and 6 here for the Cardinal. Costello, that pass is batted down at the line. Hunter Dale.
Hunter Dale's a guy putting up pretty good numbers. 31 tackles, 7 TFLs. They get after the quarterback in the backfield. You see him just read the eyes of Costello. They're trying to get an easy throw for Costello to get started. Trying to get it out to Trent Irwin.
Yeah, that was well defended. Jalen Thompson probably would have been there to pick it.
Offense, breaking the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, third down.
New quarterback.
Yeah, that's probably more on just a late substitution. I think they're trying to get a particular personnel group in there on a third down.
Usually Stanford's really buttoned up with that kind of stuff, especially with all the guys that come in and out, and the tight ends and the O-linemen and all the different numbers.
And it was a tight end, Dalton Schultz. Yep. So now it's third down and 11 after that great kickoff return to open up the game. They hand off to Love. Love gets hit, and he gets wrapped up and taken down. Tackled by Jihad Woods for a pickup of 2. So what a job by the Cougar defense.
A lot of speed for Jihad Woods getting out there. Coach, this looked like it was blocked pretty well.
It really was. Washington State just does a great job at the point of attack, defeating blocks. Jihad Woods has been an invaluable guy for them, not only in the USC game, getting to Sam Darnold, but now getting Bryce Love on the ground. Everybody's holding their breath every time that guy has the ball.
Jake Bailey on to punt. Jamal Morrow is back at his own 10. A good high punt, fair catch signaled and made at the 8-yard line by Morrow. With Washington State on offense, what are we watching for?
Well, you just saw him catch that punt. Jamal Morrow, one of the most underrated backs in the country, a senior. One last run on the Palouse for him. Look for him to catch the ball out of the backfield. They're quick hitters in Coach Leach's offense. And, of course, Horrible Harry. How could we forget Horrible Harry, the Stanford defensive tackle? Harrison Phillips, one of the biggest, scariest dudes in the Pac-12. He gets after it against the run and the pass. Look out, Luke Falk.
It's not too often you get a guy at nose tackle who leads your team in tackles. He's got 61 on the season. Falk on first down. Pass pass is complete to Kyle Sweet.
Great rhythm throw there. Again, Coach Leach is getting him started this week. Plants his foot, gets the ball out on a little. That's a little generic stick route that everybody in America runs.
Luke Falk enters this game 131 yards shy of the Pac-12 record held by Sean Mannion. Enters this game 13,469 career passing yards. Swings it out again to Sweet. Sweet breaks a tackle down the sideline. And this time he'll get stood up by Justin Reed. But a pickup of 8 yards and a first down.
Again, Justin Reed almost got out-leveraged by the receiver. You can see him defeat the block number 8 there. Justin Reed gets over the top right there, just out of your picture. Otherwise, he's gone. And again, they're trying to get the ball out of Luke Falk's hands into the playmakers early.
Frank Buncombe had the read and had the tackle behind the sticks, but couldn't make the play.
James Williams in the backfield. Falk, little shovel pass to Williams, and that was read beautifully by Harrison Phillips and Mike Tyler, a loss of 3.
Petros, you said it. This guy is unique. He's a giant. He's kind of the opposite size-wise of Mata'afa, but equally as effective. I think these are 2 of the best interior linemen in college football.
It's really hard to play reckless and read a screen, and he did it just there.
Now 62 tackles on the season. Falk throws, completes the pass. A nice catch by Desmond Patman.
And if you're a Washington State fan, that's the route you want to see him complete. The rhythm out, 12-yard out. Luke Falk has probably thrown about 6,000 yards, Petros, in his career on that route right there.
There's always going to be open receivers in this offense. It's just a matter of whether or not Luke Falk can find them and deliver the ball to them on time without being harassed by the Stanford front.
A look at Mike Leach there. 3rd and 2. We welcome those of you now watching us on Fox. Falk is going to try to run for the first down, and he's not going to get there. Bobby Okereke able to take him down a yard shy of that first down marker.
Mike Leach was thinking about it right there, but they're going to bring on the punting unit. That would have been an interesting call, 4th and a yard and a half right there. Not what Luke Falk wants to be doing, stepping up and running. Great 3rd down stop by Stanford.
Kyle Sweet, who's the receiver and the punter for Washington State, will punt to Jay Tyler. And we've got a false start.
False start. 24 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
That's against Keith Harrington. So back him up 5 yards.
Frank Buncombe did a great job making him flinch there. Got the gunner trying to get a head start.
It's hard out there for a gunner.
Absolutely.
Especially when you have an aspiring brain surgeon right next to you. The low kick. Look at this roll. Little rugby style. And that will be down at the 11. A 62-yard punt by Kyle Sweet. It's cold here in Pullman. We'll see if Bryce Love can warm things up for the Cardinal. No score here in the first quarter. The Cougars in Stanford. Fox College Football is sponsored by Volkswagen. No score here first quarter. Stanford and Washington State. David Shaw, 1 win shy of tying the school record held by Glenn Pop Warner. That's right. Youth football, Pop Warner. That's what David Shaw is chasing right now. Daniel Marks in the backfield here for Stanford as they're backed up to their own 11 after that 62-yard punt. Costello will hand off to Marks, and Marks gets hit right away by Hercules Mata'afa.
I love Daniel Marks. I love Hercules Mata'afa. I love both these guys. But when you get a big fullback at Stanford that's doing good work, you have an offense that is going to be tough to stop. They like to get that fullback the ball a couple times a game just to keep everybody honest to say they're going to give you that dive. They don't care if it gains a lot of yards. They just want you to see it.
And a great picture there of the movement by Washington State defensive coordinator Alex Grinch.
2nd down and 10. Bryce Love is back in now at tailback. Dalton Schultz, the tight end in motion. They roll out Costello. Costello throwing. Has a man wide open. It's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. And Whiteside goes for 18 yards.
He's been a good receiver for them. I like how Costello moved the pocket there. He didn't throw that one on the run, Coach. He stopped.
Yeah, that was a great job by Coach Shaw. They're trying to throw this flat route, the quick out to get, just get the rhythm going. And it's a little high load. Arcega-Whiteside fits in behind the corner. And very confident throw by Costello.
It was Arcega-Whiteside who had the game-winning touchdown catch last week at Oregon State. On first down, handoff to Love. And Love gets hit in the backfield. He's going to lose a yard here.
Again, just great pre-snap stemming by Washington State up front. What that is just trying to get their smaller guys, smaller defender into a gap and beat the bigger Stanford offensive lineman and try to make it an athletic contest rather than a brutality contest.
Yeah, Garrett McBroom was a little brutal on that play, getting in the backfield before Bryce Love could get his legs started. Here's Coach Grinch.
Alex Grinch in his third year with the Cougars.
Don't be surprised that sometime here a play action pass. Everybody in the stadium's trying to stop Bryce Love.
Play clock down to 3. Costello. Incomplete, coming near sideline for Donald Stewart. 3rd and long coming up here for Stanford.
Plenty of arm strength there. That's never been an issue for KJ Costello. It's just the accuracy, and that's a tough throw to the wide field in any conditions, let alone these.
It's hard to know what David Shaw's going to do with his quarterbacks, but I feel like KJ Costello, with that arm and his ability to run, and he's not a great runner, is the QB of the future for the Cardinal.
He's got his fullback Daniel Marks in there with him. On 3rd and 11, Costello taking the shot, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Arcega-Whiteside, but Sean Harper Jr. was right there, and Arcega-Whiteside maybe turned into a defensive back as opposed to a receiver right there.
Yeah, he did a great job there. Harper just gets in his hip pocket, and this ball either has to be shorter and further outside or deeper and further outside, but you cannot miss a fade inside. Arcega-Whiteside does get the credit for the PBU.
I like how he tried to come underneath and make the play, but Harper was just too strong in there and wouldn't let him come across.
Jake Bailey on to punt. Jamal Morrow back deep. A good punt. Morrow has to back up to the 22, escapes one tackle. And then he gets wrapped up at the 25-yard line. A 50-yard punt. Luke Falk had a couple of completions.
Dad's weekend.
You better be studying.
You don't want Dad to think that you're not doing your diligent work here.
The dads are in attendance right now for this game, and what was that? A good defense leads to refreshing offense. So far, it's been good defense, all defense in this first quarter. 21 seconds to go. Falk, little jump pass, tip ball, and it's incomplete. Looking for James Williams. Mike Tyler is the one who got his hand on the ball.
Tyler gets it that time. I tell you, Stanford's done a great job against this short passing game early of Washington State.
Yeah, really good identification by Tyler. Good vertical to get that on the ground. He had a long way to run if Williams was able to corral that.
Good job getting the hands up.
2nd down and 10. Falk dumps it off to Williams. And Williams lowers that head and shoulder and picks up 6, and that should be the final play of the first quarter.
Yeah, Washington State's going to be really happy just with the eyes and the feet of Luke Falk there in the first quarter. He looks completely different than he has in the last 3 games.
The first time these teams are meeting as top 25 opponents in 25 years, and it's a defensive battle so far. No score here in the Palouse. Now snowing here in Pullman. 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Cougars. Luke Falk. The pass is complete, but Tavares Martin gets tackled by Casey Tuhill and loses a yard. So the defense for Stanford doing the job, and this is the first snow game for a Stanford football team since 1936. Almost unfathomable. But that game took place against Columbia at the Polo Grounds in New York City, the old home of the New York baseball giants.
You know, there's about one place you can get snow in the Pac-12 or the old Pac-10 back in the day, and it's here.
It's a high short kick. A shank this time by Kyle Sweets. And let's see where they mark this. It looks like it's at the 48 of Washington State. Just a 12-yard punt. Maybe the weather is playing a factor. Hey, these students, they want this weather. They live for this weather here in Pullman. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Volkswagen. Here in the second quarter at Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. No score. Stanford and Washington State. Justin Kutcher, Petros Papadakis, Mark Helfrich with you here on Fox. KJ Costello making a second start. On first down, the handoff to Bryce Love. Love up the middle. Bryce Love breaks the tackle. There goes Love. Touchdown, Bryce Love, 52 yards.
Well, Jalen Thompson had a shot at him, and it would have been an explosive play, but not a touchdown. And you saw the strength in Bryce Love. We talked to David Shaw about that yesterday. This is not a big back, but first you see the turn he makes right up the gut.
And this is the thing about him. He stays square, runs through the arm tackle, and is gone. And that's how quickly it happened. Hanser can't get him on the ground. Up to that point, a 6-yard run was his longest. 52 to the house for Bryce Love.
He had 14 yards in the first quarter. He had 52 yards on that run as Jet Toner is on for the extra points. And there you have it, just like that, in a blink of an eye. Number 20 is back for Stanford, and back in a big way. Breaking the tackle, showing off the speed, and Bryce Love has his 12th touchdown of the season. And Bryce Love has his 10th of at least 40 or more yards. Bryce Love still has more to go this season.
That's why it's called a rushing average.
Exactly. Bailey to kick off. James Williams in the end zone will take a knee. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Sam Farber.
All right, Justin, Georgia, #1 in the inaugural college football playoff rankings, hosting 6-2 South Carolina. Direct snap here. Sonny Michel goes to the right and into the house. 8-yard score. Dogs up 7-0 entering the second quarter. Back with Justin, Martin, Petros, and Pullman.
Ben, thank you very much. 7-0 here. Stanford leading Washington State. Luke Falk taken over at the 25 with 2 running backs in, Jamal Morrow and James Williams. And the handoff is to Morrow. Morrow will get 5 up to the 30.
Good start on first down there if you're Mike Leach in Washington State. And you're talking to Luke Falk on the sideline. Just be patient, execute, don't panic. Bryce Love is going to do his thing, but you've got to do your thing, and that's execute.
They've yet to catch their normal rhythm of offense, though. Throughout the first quarter, we didn't see it.
Second down and 5. Play action. Falk rolling out to his right, dumps it off to Morrow, who's got some room. Morrow makes a nice move. A good tackle by Alameen Murphy. Just that arm tackle to get the leg of Morrow. Otherwise, he would have gotten a lot more than 11 yards.
That's why he's Washington State's all-time leader in receptions at running back. He fits in protection, looks if he needs to help out, and then just gives his eyes to the quarterback. Great job by Luke Falk finding the outlet.
Nice 2-man game between everybody, and let's see if they can work that into a meaningful drive.
Falk, the quick pass on the slants to Desmond Patman, and Patman gets 11 yards for the first down.
Great call by Coach Leach, getting the slant route to replace the blitzer. There was a pressure by Stanford right down the pipe. That slant just filled that void beautifully. And again, good execution by Falk.
That's 2 in a row.
Falk now on the run, gets rid of it off the pads of Desmond Patman.
That was really good discipline that time by Stanford. They tried to do basically a little screen and go move. Quentin Meeks was so aggressive on that previous drive.
Now, how does this screw up the rhythm of an offense like this when you just have one little glitch of a play, a drop ball like that? How hard is it for them to get back into it?
Well, again, you're talking to your quarterback all the time. Just press clear. Just play the next play. Forget about the drop. Drops do have a tendency to be contagious, though.
2nd down and 10 now for the Cougars. Trying to answer that touchdown run of Bryce Love. Pressure coming off the corner. Falk gets rid of it while still up, even though he was getting hit, and gets rid of it to Kyle Sweets. Justin Reed was on the legs of Luke Falk, but couldn't bring him down.
Yeah, just a great job by Luke Falk. Andre Dillard late out to Justin Reed, who David Shaw called the best safety in America, and he has been playing well. But great job by Luke Falk being firm and strong in the pocket, finding Sweet, setting up a manageable 3rd down.
When's the last time you saw a safety do that to a tackle? Knocked him over.
3rd and 3. Falk, high throw, good catch. Jameer Calvin with the catch. He took a hit from Mustafa Branch.
Great job by Jameer Calvin. Such a confidence builder for Luke Falk. Just needs to finish over that throw a little bit more to get it down. But a great reception. Finish right there. Sets him up in business just outside the red zone.
First 3rd down conversion of the game for the Cougars. The snow is stopped now. They fake the jet sweep. Falk now swings it out.
Could be a line
and
ball.
They're going to say no, not a lateral. It was a forward pass intended for Brandon Arconato. Luke Falk, all-time now 5th player ever to make it to 1,300 career completions.
Wow. And 2 out of those 5 are Mike Leach disciples. Graham Harrell at Texas Tech.
Where's Johnny Unitas?
He didn't throw it 1,300 times in his career.
13 times a game.
On 2nd and 10, handoff to Morrow. Morrow's got the hole. Morrow gets tackled down at the 12-yard line. Ben Edwards after a 24-yard run by Morrow.
These are the quick hits in their run game that can really hurt you.
Yep, Stanford is playing coverage there. They're trying to stop Luke Falk in the passing game. Tay Martin does a great job on the perimeter. Good look at the O-line up front. The big fella, Cody O'Connell, the All-American, leading the way for Morrow. They're in business.
It was Tay Martin's block on number 24, Quentin Meeks, that really sprung it an extra 20 yards. Nice play.
1st and 10 from the 12. Falk to the end zone. Touchdown! Tavares Martin. Eighth touchdown of the season for number 8.
Great recognition by Falk. There's a bunch of eye candy down here in the bottom. Makes the safety freeze and throws it right over the top of him. Great execution. Great finish by Tavares Martin.
And now Eric Powell on for the extra point. And a great answer by the Washington State Cougars. It was a quick strike by Stanford and a nice drive by the Cougars to get 7 back. Luke Falk climbing up the charts. He got 1 touchdown now on the day. We're all tied up at 7. Cameron Scarlett. Scarlett from about a yard deep in the end zone. And Scarlett took a hit as he crossed the 15, gets up to the 18-yard line. It's Aguayo with the special teams tackle.
Yeah, Aguayo, we call that run in the hoop, just coming over the top, and a great big-time collision on Scarlett.
Man, Scarlett's a tough runner, too. He took the brunt of that collision. It'll be interesting to see what Stanford does now. Bryce Love's such a home run hitter. You don't get the long, sustained drives that take the football out of the opponent that you usually get. It's a bit of a double-edged sword for them.
It is, in the way that Washington State's defending him. There's going to be some gaps and some creases with all this movement that he found on that 52-yard touchdown. 2 tight ends in right now for Stanford.
KJ Costello in the shotgun. Handoff to Love, who gets hit in the backfield by Hercules Mataafa. Wow! A 4-yard loss. Mataafa was in the backfield almost as they snapped the ball.
How did he hang on to this football? That's impressive. Shades of Jadeveon Clowney right there. But the hat stays on. Bryce Love. What a play by one of the best defenders in the country, Hercules Mataafa.
Mike Bloomgren said there's a T-shirt here that said he's one bad Mataafa. That was what that was right there.
That's a fact.
And that got the crowd fired up.
Washington State, a late substitution, had a guy late to the party. Marcus Strong was the guy coming on late. Alex Grinch, not happy.
Washington State.
Guys, I'm still thinking about that play by Mataafa. I'm sorry.
He came right off the line of scrimmage, timed it up perfectly.
It's such a big-time play, and that's what we've seen. That guy is so athletic, so strong, and to get guys on the ground, to actually get him on the ground. Watch Dalton Schultz is going to come across, and in the playbook, this is, hey, Dalton, cut this guy off right there. and that line in the playbook looks a lot different when it's Hercules in the backfield.
Flex your muscles, Hercules.
And he's doing all this at 6'2". He's listed as 252. They said he's more like 240.
One of the most active players, and he's doing that on the inside. Hometown, Lahaina, Hawaii. Home of the Lahaina Lunas, Lahaina High School. Very unusual from Maui. You don't get a lot of guys there, except for old Shane Victorino.
Shane Victorino, decent athlete.
The flying Hawaiian. Trevor Spates is now in at tailback with the fullback Daniel Marks. It is Spates, and Spates gets hit in the backfield. Frankie Luvu is there putting on a show, and that has special meaning for him, playing in front of his parents for the first time in his career.
Here's a young man out of American Samoa. Check him just coming off the edge and finding the ball in the backfield. Washington State's had a lot of success coming off those edges and getting to the Stanford backs right away.
That was one of those things I was interested to see on film in those 2 back sets that Stanford was in. Washington State, a bunch of edge pressure, and when you toss a ball like that, that opens you up to penetration.
There is a player down right now for Stanford, and while he is down, we'll take a break here, all tied up at 7. The freshman Walker Little, who's their first true freshman to start at left tackle for Stanford since 2000, when Kirk Chambers started for the Cardinal.
#1 recruit in the country. Stanford knows how to bring him in, but the GPA's got to be way up.
Devery Hamilton is now taken over at left tackle. Trevor Spates in on 3rd and 16. It's kept by Costello,
and the substitute jumped. It's going to be Devery Hamilton. Mataafa moving around a ton pre-snap. That guy's seen what's happened so far. Subs in, 1 play. One penalty.
74 offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
See a lot again, the pre-snap motion, and the left tackle just moving around 74 on the left side there. Just getting started a little too soon. He's got a tall order to cut off Hercules.
Frankie Luvu got his money's worth.
So now 3rd and 21. And they hand off to Spates, and that's a good run there by Trevor Spates. He picks up 7 yards, just gives his punter Jake Bailey a little bit of breathing room to get a punt off.
Yeah, that's really what sparked this whole game almost, was that shanked punt by Sweet. Just that breathing room, being out of the end zone. It's a little psychological thing for the protectors more than the punter.
Started the scoring. And now we'll see if Washington State can get that rhythm back, if they can secure this punt.
Jake Bailey the punt from just in front of his own end zone. Jamal Morrow back at his own 40. Another booming punt. And let's see where they mark this out of bounds. And this will be marked out at the 29-yard line. A 57-yard punt by Jake Bailey. Let's take a look at the Duluth Trading Company hardest working player, and it'll be the players, the defense for this Washington State Cougars team. 5 tackles for a loss, 76 rushing yards allowed, but 52 of those came on that one play.
Bryce Love did gash him one good time, and sometimes that's all it takes. The physical straight arm on Jalen Thompson. But a lot of movement for this Washington State defense, and it served them well other than the big play.
On first down, Luke Falk.
3-man rush.
Dancing with some time, going down the field, has a man open, completes it to Tavares Martin, who had the touchdown catch. Martin all the way down to the 31, a 40-yard completion.
Beautiful execution here by Luke Falk. There's a safety over the top that you can't see. He just drops it. That's that back shoulder throw. If the ball's behind the receiver, he sees it. The DB does it. Great adjustment by Tavares Martin. This is a guy that really starting to develop some chemistry, Falk and Tavares Martin.
They'll say he's down at the 32-yard line. Falk gets rid of it quickly to Martin. Martin makes one man miss and then gets tackled by Ben Edwards. A 3-yard pickup for Martin.
Whenever I see Mike Leach's team play, it always surprises me just how physical the receivers are on the edge. If they don't block, they can't play here. Renard Bell that time with
a true freshman.
Yeah, just a true freshman. Only 5'8", 160 pounds. Just put a heck of a block on Quentin Meeks for about 3 seconds.
Luke Falk is now 3 yards away from breaking the all-time Pac-12 passing record held by Sean Mannion. Will he get it here to Jamal Morrow? He does. Morrow is up at the 20. There's a 9-yard completion, and Luke Falk is now the all-time Pac-12 career passing leader.
Wow, that's amazing. Not surprising with the talent of him and the combination of he and Mike Leach, but passing another great quarterback in this conference, Sean Mannion.
Over 13,600 career yards and continues to add to it. The handoff to Wicks. Gerard Wicks can't get through the tackle of
another true freshman there. You alluded to it earlier. Petros, Jameer Calvin, he finishes his block right there, and Wicks is in the end zone. Doing a great job right now mixing the run and pass is Washington State.
Defense got him the ball back, and that offense under Luke Falk continued the rhythm they found on the last touchdown drive, and they're doing it with the 2 backs in the backfield.
It's going to be 1st and goal from the 10. Falk rolling out to his right, flag is thrown, throws the end zone, it's incomplete. We'll have to wait to see what this flag is for, but usually it's going to be holding. Steven Strimling, our official, will make the call, and it's going to be going against the Cougars.
Holding, offense number 60, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Yeah, they're trying to get after the young fella, Andre Dillard. It's the second time he's been kind of the victim on the twist there. Two-heel penetrates inside. And it's just an accident.
Hey,
he's just trying to help his quarterback out.
Hand all over the chest. Handful of jersey on the front there, coach. They get called every time.
In Luke Falk's mind, this just gives him a little more room to add up to that passing yard total.
Falk. Another flag is thrown. Could be another hold. Looking for Kyle Sweet.
And that might
be a hold again.
Yeah, sorry, Justin. That might be on Jamal Morrow helping out. That looked like
a good block. Yeah, and his feet going. Yeah, they called it on Morrow.
Replay first down.
He must have had his hands full of jersey again because his feet were moving. Look what he's saying. My hands were on the inside. What kind of call is that?
My coach tells me. Yeah, it looked like Jordan Perez was trying to get off and he didn't let him go. Look for 15 on defense, 25 on offense. Fit right there. Oh, there it is. Just right arm. Why are we doubting the referee?
Now he gets it inside. Now he gets it inside.
You know, and I tell you what, guys, that all these holding penalties, forcing him back, in these conditions, all of a sudden the wind is, you're kicking into the wind, it becomes an issue.
2 straight holding penalties is an issue for any offense. I don't care how explosive you are.
It's 1st and goal from the 30. Falk with plenty of time, throws over the middle to Kyle Sweet, who gets tackled right away by Jordan Perez, picks up just 3 yards.
Yeah, that's one of those ones right there. I think Luke Falk needs to get out of his hand. He was going from the tailback right to Sweet. He kind of went past Sweet for a second and then came back to him. If he delivered that ball sooner, he's probably running out of it.
2nd and goal. Under 6 to go here in the first half. 7-7 ball game, top 25 matchup. Falk taking the shot to the end zone. Touchdown! Renard Bell, 27 yards.
Great
so
job
much for
by
those holdings.
Yeah, great job by Luke Falk there. Number 6 is going to clear out the middle, and then there comes the post route right down the middle. Renard Bell splits that 2-deep safety look, and just great timing and execution again by Luke Falk. You can see his right foot plant and throw, hit as he throws. A great finish by Bell, being rewarded for that dirty work he did earlier.
And he took some hits as well, able to hang on to it for his 3rd touchdown catch of the year, as Eric Powell comes on for the extra point. 9 different receivers have caught a pass today. They averaged 10 in a game. But after back-to-back holding penalties, made it 1st and goal from the 30. Luke Falk able to find Renard Bell for a 27-yard touchdown pass.
Petros, I think Luke Falk heard you. He said for any offense, that's a problem.
Well, he can see it, and if they have their rhythm going and they have all their routes out there, like you said, Coach, there's going to be open players. Now, those players are going to catch a ball and take a hit, and that's what Renard Bell had to do to score that touchdown.
Time now for our winning duo, sponsored by Volkswagen. Why settle for an SUV when you can have an SUV-W? And Luke Falk is hooked up with Tavares Martin one time for the touchdown, the first one, and then this was the big play that led them down the field that eventually led to the touchdown pass to Renard Bell. And Petros, you said Luke Falk is probably the toughest quarterback in the conference, took the hit, and he's still able to finish.
I've seen him take a lot of hits over the years.
And particularly this year, he's taken a ton of shots. They have the one All-American in Cody O'Connell. We've seen Andre Dillard have some issues in protection. They're helping him out a ton today with the run game.
Powell. Scarlett breaking some tackles, and Scarlett will take it all the way up to the 34-yard line. Time now for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Sam Farber.
Petros?
So Ohio State coming off the huge comeback victory last week against Penn State. Now in a shootout this week. Washington State leading Stanford. Stanford edging one out last week at Oregon State. On 1st down, bootleg. Costello in trouble. Nowhere to go. Gets sacked by Justice Rogers. A loss of 9.
Coach, that was that play action you were talking about to start the game and try to get the ball down the field and get a little room for KJ Costello to work. But he didn't have a play, and he slipped.
Yeah, you could see Washington State, and they're doing it again right here. They had a wholesale hockey substitution for that personnel group. This is a new one. Alex Grinch obviously trying to match personnel when Stanford goes big. They go big, take a shot, play action, 2nd and a mile. With the snow falling, Costello
Steps up, throws high, and a nice catch by Arcega-Whiteside. And Arcega-Whiteside has the first down up to the 49, picks up 24.
When they need a play in the passing game, this is the guy they go to.
Big time throw right here by KJ Costello. Great answer. That is a dime. Moulton does slip right at the top of it, but Arcega-Whiteside says, no problem. I'll save you, QB. 2nd and 20 to 1st and 10.
That's a huge confidence builder right there.
Watch the edge pressure again here by Washington State against this look.
Costello pumps. Now takes the shot. Wow, what great defense by Marcus Strong on Trent Irwin.
Well, they kind of faked the edge pressure, and then they came out of it, and that confused KJ Costello a little bit, but he found the one-on-one matchup. It was all the way back across the field, and he gave Trent Irwin a chance.
Yeah, Marcus Strong kind of gets surprised by that ball. You can't ever fall asleep. You never know where that quarterback's going to end up. Costello does a great job, like you said, finding the one-on-one, and Trent Irwin usually reliable.
Here's Bryce Love. Love gets up to the 48, tackled by Dylan Hanser, a pickup of 4, 3rd and 6 coming up.
And here's where Stanford's offense has got to find their way with this new quarterback, KJ Costello. You have a 3rd and short situation. Bryce Love has been good. He's had the long touchdown run, but not really something they can rely on down in and down out yet in their run game. What do you run here?
Well, Trevor Spates is in at tailback. They've got the tight end Dalton Schultz back there as well.
This is usually a tight end situation.
They've loaded the box right here, showing a zero coverage man to man.
Costello zips the ball, and it's caught by Trent Irwin. How about the hands right there shown by Irwin? A catch now in 23 straight games.
That's the thing you're used to out of Trent Irwin. I thought he'd plant and come back to that other one. Big time catch. Again, a confidence builder right in front of Marcus Strong again. Wow, is that a great shot of that? And a great catch by Trent Irwin.
Stretch that body out, Trent Irwin.
Great hair.
Junior,
Trent
long
Irwin.
hair out of Valencia, California, Hart High School. Usually those go to the tight end in those 3rd down situations. Those guys are still developing. They have fully developed wide receivers in Irwin and Arcega-Whiteside.
Bryce Love is back in here on 1st down. They'll give it to him. Bryce Love fumbles, but it's recovered by Arcega-Whiteside.
I think it was Dalton Schultz who actually got eaten up on his block. And this team looks different. Washington State's defense looks different when Bryce Love is in the game.
They are coming off the ball something fierce. Getting in the backfield, and they are attacking him before he gets to the line of scrimmage almost every time he touches the ball.
Great fit by Moulton and the rest of the crew. 2nd and long again for Stanford. They don't like operating in 2nd and long.
They've got all 3 timeouts remaining. Costello. That's a low throw caught by Connor Weddington. Basically pick up a yard, so 3rd and 10 coming up.
Connor Weddington is a stud out of the Seattle area. He was a guy when we tried to recruit him when I was at Oregon. He qualified for my standing. We had a standing rule on our staff that if a guy's GPA matched his 40 time, and in this case it was 4.3 and 4.3, it was an automatic offer.
So Petros would have had an automatic offer from you.
2-second 40.
On 3rd and 10. Costello throws incomplete, looking for Caden Smith. Smith had that big catch on 4th and 10 last week at Oregon State. And decision time here for Stanford.
Costello just a little unsettled now in the pocket. He's been hit a couple times, had to reset his feet and move around. This ball's almost too early, which is a rare problem. You can see this 2-man game, just a vertical and then an in route.
And that's not their personality, Coach. I mean, the reaction is he wanted his tight end to bail him out like he bailed out Keller Chris last week. But that's not Stanford football. They don't want to be trying to throw for it on 3rd and long.
Exactly.
They need more manageable situations.
Exactly. Stay out of 2nd and 12. Stay out of 3rd and 12. You're exactly right.
A timeout is taken here by Washington State. Let's check in with Mike Hill in LA. Very much. Lots of great games today across college football. We've got ourselves a really good one here. Top 25 matchup with Stanford and Washington State. The Cougars leading 14-7, 1:01 to go. Washington State called the timeout. And I'm going to ask, is the timeout called because they're thinking, is there a potential fake here, or are they setting something else up?
I think they were just between personnel groups. They had their defensive unit out there. Stanford was taking a while to make the call. It's obviously a smart decision, and don't get left with 12 or 13 guys on the field is what it would have been.
A minute is plenty of time for Mike Leach.
Yeah.
Bailey, directional punts. A nice job downing it by Trent Irwin at the 4-yard line. Tomorrow on Fox, we've got a great slate of games headlined by Cam Newton and the Panthers taking on the Falcons, and Russell Wilson and the Seahawks battling the Redskins. Check local listings for the game in your area. That is tomorrow, NFL on Fox. Well, these two teams very good when leading at the half. When trailing at the half, not as good.
We should probably still stay here, though, right? I mean, it's 5-0 and 7-0. We should still stay here.
Yeah.
Falk from his end zone. Comes to his favorite target right now, Tavares Martin.
Great protection there by Washington State. Stanford only rushing 3 in this no-huddle situation right at the end of the half. But a great job being sound, not getting called for a hold when Falk is in the end zone, and Falk finding Martin late.
2nd down and 5. Handoff, slipping is Jamal Morrow.
David Shaw's going to take a timeout here, make him execute on 3rd down. Smart timeout.
Nice play by Bobby Okereke, kind of bearing down on Morrow, trying to make him make a cut that his feet could not make in this weather.
Stanford, please set the game clock to 40 seconds. 40
Okereke's
seconds,
number
please.
20 coming from the right side of your screen. Morrow sees him, tries to cut it all the way back, and just loses his footing.
Would have been a great cut. Yeah, if he could have pulled it off.
He's been watching some Bryce Love film. Great timeout here. 3rd and 3. Make them execute here. If they're short or they don't get it somehow, make them execute on 4th down in this weather, wind, a little bit of sleet active right now.
Don't forget, coming up after this, we've got the State Farm halftime show from Los Angeles, where I think it's a bit warmer than it is here in Pullman, Washington. I'm pretty sure there's no snow in LA. I tell you what,
I can attest to that. This is a special place for college football. Currently 36 degrees right now in Martin Stadium on the Palouse.
November in the Palouse.
Pressure coming, the handoff. Trying to get that 1st down is Morrow, and it looks like he did. That's a good run by Jamal Morrow as he gets 4 in the 1st down.
Clock will wind here, and David Shaw and Mike Leach will probably be happy to let this thing run out.
Please set the play clock to 35 seconds. It's the same as the game clock. The clock will start on my ready.
The clock will start on Steven Strimling's ready. The snow, though, is coming down even harder. Looks beautiful right now.
They're not going to run another play. This rare footage right here. Mike Leach not forcing another play. Luke Falk telling the O-line, hey, we're taking this to the house. Get warmed up for a great 2nd half.
First time these teams have met as top 25 opponents in 25 years. David Shaw played in that last meeting in 1992 when Stanford won that game 40-3. This one right now is a lot closer. Washington State, they will receive the kick to open up the 2nd half. It's a 14-7 ball game. The Cougars lead the Cardinal here at the half. To Keith Harrington and James Williams for Washington State. The final home game of the season for the Cougars, and this will be a touchback. Some of the highlights from the first half.
Well, Bryce Love did get it going with the long run, showing that he is back and the ankle is okay. Physicality, speed, all the things that has made him great this year. But on the other side, Luke Falk has been great, Coach.
Yeah, just rhythm is the story here. They got it going early, getting the ball out of his hands, doing his thing, just executing the offense. Again, the biggest thing for them is the run game efficiency. And when they've had an opportunity to make a play in the end zone, they've made it.
And Luke Falk, after throwing 2 touchdowns in the first half, is now 2 touchdowns away from tying the Pac-12 record set by Matt Barkley. On first down, he comes out throwing, and he completes the pass to WSU Martin for 5 yards.
That's been the dynamic duo so far today. Again, Justin Reed running over the top of the receiver, trying to block him and limiting the game.
Jamal Morrow in the backfield. 2nd down and 5. Handoff is to Morrow. And Morrow runs in to big number 66, Harrison Phillips. Harrison Phillips, who's been fairly quiet since really the opening series.
He has. Horrible Harry. He's been a good player all year for Stanford, finally making his presence known. We have 2 guys that are locks for all Pac-12 in Hercules Mataafa and Harrison Phillips in this game. And one of them could be the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year.
3rd 2, big play coming out for Stanford's defense just to get a little juice to that offense. 3-man rush.
Falk over the middle, dumps it off to his tailback, Morrow, who makes the catch and gets tackled from behind by Eric Cotton. A converted tight end picks up 10 yards in the first down.
Again, for Luke Falk and Washington State, that's like a 3rd down run. It's a 3-man rush. He takes a look down the field. Morrow slips out. They don't need him in protection. Great execution on 3rd and 2.
Falk forced out of the pocket, throws low, completes the pass to Renard Bell, who had a touchdown in the first half. That's a 3-yard completion, 2nd down and 7. And Bell comes up, looks like he's hobbling a bit.
I just love the way they distribute on this team. They don't care who they're throwing the ball to.
Absolutely. It's a system. It's a system. And some days you're going to be hot, some days it's somebody else. A lot of times it's the backs, and that's all just why Mike Leach was so adamant about Luke Falk. Just execute. 9
different receivers have caught a pass so far today. Falk pressure coming. Falk still up, able to get rid of it. That's the 2nd time incomplete pass that we've seen Falk get hit and still be able to stay up and get rid of the ball.
He really hates getting sacked and eating the football, and sometimes this is a dangerous thing for a quarterback.
Peter Columbine bearing down on him, just smokes Cole Madison around the corner. Lance Anderson, the defense coordinator for Stanford, doing a great job varying the look. It's been a 3-man rush. The previous play was a 5-man rush. That was a 4-man rush. Changing up things for that young front of Washington State.
3rd and 7. I think the fans are cheering because the snow that's falling.
Need some binoculars here. Another 5-man rush.
Falk down the sideline to WSU Martin again. Another big catch, but the hat is off and a flag is thrown. And it might be that Martin was out of bounds and came back in. Excuse me, Isaiah Johnson Mack was the receiver.
Well, he's his high school teammate, right?
School.
So they know. But yeah, I think Johnson Mack stepped out, and then he was the first one to touch. It's an illegal touch, most likely, an incomplete pass.
There is no flag for illegal touching. It's been ruled that number 9 was forced out of bounds, came back in legally and made the catch. That's a 1st down.
Good work by the officials right there. It's single coverage up top. Again, a 5-man pressure. They do a great job neutralizing it. Alameen Murphy there in coverage, really in great position. Luke Falk again loves that back shoulder throw. A great job with the pace of that ball. It has to be firm, but with touch to make that completion to Johnson Mack.
That's a 20-yard completion. Now Morrow and Williams in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 35. It's Morrow making a couple of moves up to the 30, picks up 5.
Good patience, square, but getting vertical by Morrow. I thought he had more on that 1st down run to start the half where Phillips got him in the backfield, but great patience. by both the play caller, Mike Leach, who loves to throw deep, Luke Falk, the guy who's totally in control, and the tailback.
Martin lined up in the backfield, now goes out. And James Williams comes in the backfield on 2nd down and 5. Falk able to hit Patman. And Patman takes a big hit by Quentin Meeks, but a 16-yard completion. And there's a player down right now for Stanford. And I believe it's Frank Bunkum.
Frank Bunkum, a great player out of San Diego, very experienced guy. Meeks has to lower his target right there. Little friendly fire, it looked like on. Here's Meeks.
Meeks going to get down and make the tackle, and it looks like the head gets bonked around, or the hip
of
Bunkum.
Bunkum getting to his feet. That's good news as he's starting to get better. We'll take a break. 14-7, Washington State leading. 1st and 10 from the 14. Handoff is to Williams. Williams gets hit by Harrison Phillips. He'll get a yard.
Yeah, that's a great job defensively by Stanford. That's one of those, you know that I know that you know that I know that you're going to run the ball. They make it a 5-man box.
Who?
Exactly. They hand it off. Stanford runs over the top to get over the top of Williams. And a great finish by Phillips.
That guy gets his hands on you, the play is over.
It's over.
2nd down and 9, 10th play of the drive. Here, Falk.
Rush.
Falk dancing around, buying time, takes the shots, and he took a shot. Through with nobody there.
Horrible Harry once again getting to the ribs of Luke Falk. I've seen Luke Falk get up from worse than that. That time Harrison Phillips.
This may end up being an intentional grounding. You're exactly right. Great scramble. Falk may have gone out, and once you're out of the pocket, you're out of the pocket. They're conferring right now to make this decision. There was nobody in the area whatsoever.
Yeah, but can't they give him a pass because Horrible Harry was coming down on him?
I think anytime.
There's the flag.
Intentional grounding, number 4. The offense was in the pocket. There's no eligible receiver. Spotted the foul. 4th down.
So again, pre-snap, the pocket is basically a yard outside the tackle. And what they're ruling there, I don't have a telestrator to draw this, but what they're ruling is on the reset, he stepped up, came out, went back in, and there's clearly nobody in that WA corner of the Washington State end zone. But if you're Luke Falk in Washington State, this is right where you want to be, right? 3rd and 20.
They've had success previously.
It's Morrow in the backfield here on 3rd and 20. From the 24.
Somebody got it in the middle of the field. He's wide open.
Falk gets hit again, throws it up to the end zone. It's incomplete. Was looking for Johnson Mack.
It seems like this Stanford pressure is starting to confuse Luke Falk a little bit and take a little football out of him.
Yeah, that was a weird looking coverage. They had nobody on sweep right down the pipe, ran right between the safeties. Falk just didn't identify it. If you look at number 17, just watch the guy run right down the middle of the field. The backside safety is outside the hash. That's a touchdown for Washington State. Falk smartly gets rid of it and avoids a sack.
Now a 41-yard field goal attempt for Eric Powell. And Powell's kick is good from 41. The Cougs
an appearance.
Teach you to be wasteful. Throwing pumpkins away.
Hey, Halloween is now come and gone. Short kick. Scarlett from the 10. Cameron Scarlett breaks a couple of tackles, and he's going to be down at the 40-yard line by the kicker, Eric Powell. Coming up next, it's a great college football matchup as Minnesota faces the Michigan Wolverines in a Big Ten showdown. It's college football next on Fox or stream live on Fox Sports Go. Every game is everything. So Michigan State on Fox, Michigan on Fox, a heavy Michigan flavor today. Big Ten on Fox. By the way, speaking of Big Ten, Ohio State coming off their come-from-behind victory over Penn State last week. They trail Iowa by 2 touchdowns at the half. Stanford handing off here to Bryce Love, who really, with the exception of one run, that 52-yard run, has been bottled up, loses a yard here as Jahad Woods makes the tackle.
It did look like Schultz learned his lesson. Watch him cut down Hercules Mataafa right there. At least he doesn't make the play, but plenty of Cougs involved. Jalen Thompson coming at the end to clean it up. They've been all over Bryce Love.
That's the 5th negative run today for Bryce Love.
Unbelievably impressive again by Alex Grinch's front pre-snap movement, post-snap movement, but sound with the exception of one run.
Costello to the sideline, completes it to Arcega-Whiteside. Arcega-Whiteside up to the 49, tackled by Darian Moulton. He'll be a yard shy of the first down marker.
That puts him in the 3rd down situation they wanted to be in after the run play.
Absolutely. Here comes some big boy football for Stanford. Multiple O-linemen shifting in and out. Frankie Luvu dropped out from his defensive end position, almost making a play under Arcega-Whiteside. Devery Hamilton thought he was subbed out. They need all the poundage in on this one.
Cameron Scarlett, Daniel Marks. Costello's going to pass, low pass. Nice catch by Marks down the sideline. And Marks is down at the 28-yard line. What a catch by Daniel Marks, his first catch of the year. That was a low throw that he went down to get.
Hold it up the shoelaces.
Big time play, Petros. You talked about this earlier. Sometimes you hand him as a bone to reward all that dirty work they do. Now it's a great catch, showing off his hands. Big time execution on 3rd and 1. A bunch of trust in those players by David Shaw.
Man, and they had some good fullback in this Stanford era of Jim Harbaugh, David Shaw. Owen Marisic. Marks is just another one of those guys.
That was a 24-yard completion on 3rd and 1. Bryce Love is back in. Costello. We have the flag thrown. Arcega-Whiteside was looking for it. He got shoved down by Darian Moulton, but no flag.
David Shaw in the line judge's ear here. Certainly could have been called on Moulton. It looked catchable. I'm surprised that's not a call on Moulton. Arcega-Whiteside certainly could have made that catch.
Hand off to Love. Love looking for a hole. Love found it, then just looked like he slipped. He goes down at the 23 to pick up 4. It looked like he was about to explode for one.
Is having him go laterally against this very fast Washington State defense pragmatic for Stanford to do?
Well, it is. What they're trying to do is just create that, a cutback lane. He kind of trips over his own feet. Sometimes, again, when Washington State moves one way, that's the only way they can move. Sometimes they're trying to cut it back against the grain, with the grain. It's give and take for sure against a defense like this.
On 3rd and 6, they roll Costello out. Plants, throws, and he completes the pass. Forward progress to Connor Weddington, and it looks like he's going to have the first down. Yes, he will.
Nice close by Jahad Woods, one of the fastest guys on the Washington State defense, but good job securing the ball by Weddington.
Yep, Costello's looking here on that little high-low. There's 2 routes over here that are covered. Gets his eyes all the way back to Weddington. Good eyes by Costello, good execution. Good finish by Jahad Woods to limit the game.
Trevor Spates now in at tailback. Handoff is to Spates. And Spates picks up a couple yards. Time for an AT&T game break. Let's go back to LA. Here's Greg Wolf. So that's not a defensive battle over there in Bedlam? Not quite what we have going on right here in Pullman. On 2nd down and 8, Costello fumbles and the pump picks it up, and he's going to run it in. Touchdown, D. Fortune.
And you're just shaking your head right now if you're Coach Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator for Washington State. He's had everything dialed up. They've done such a good job containing this Stanford offense. And here's KJ Costello. Where's the defense for this?
That'll be reviewed. It could have been an incomplete pass. Could be a tuck rule. Somewhere Bobby Bowden's smiling. That's a modified fumble Rooski there, really. They had every route covered. And a thank you very much, just how we drew it up, walk-in touchdown.
He loses it on the pump fake, but where was the ball going forward? That's
the
hard to
rule
say
on that
that's
has
not
to
a
be
fumble.
A passing motion.
Yeah.
And that's not really a passing motion.
That's a running motion.
That is a running motion.
This play is under review.
It would be the 3rd rushing touchdown of the year for KJ Costello. It would be a 14-yard touchdown run. Washington State has challenged this. Steven Strimling, the referee, Jim Northcutt, the replay official.
Yeah, that's surprising me that they'd have to challenge. It's kind of a borderline call. It's a scoring play. Usually every one of those is reviewed. We'll see if they actually, quote unquote, charge them for that challenge, or it's just a, hey, let's take a little further look.
Well, let's bring in Mike Pereira from LA, where he's nice and cozy and warm. Mike, what's your take on this?
He's drinking iced tea. Yeah.
After review, the quarterback was bringing the ball back into his body and dropped the ball. That's a fumble. The ruling on the field of a touchdown is confirmed. Washington State has charged their first timeout and have no more challenges.
Seems like a frustration challenge from Coach Leach.
Right.
Because he forces them to look at it again. They already looked at it.
And that's exactly what Mike Pereira is saying. As a coach, they tell you on the sideline, on any scoring play, they review it and they tell you, hey, it's confirmed or it's not. And if it's not, they take a look, and that's Mike Leach maybe thinking he saw something on the review, and he's still barking about it on the sideline. And I love Coach Leach, but they're right.
And Mike was right on it.
Absolutely, Mike Pereira right on it.
Jet Toner on for the extra point. Three-point ball game here in Pullman. A pump fake, the fumble, picks it up, runs it in for 14. Just how Mike Bloomgren drew it up.
No question.
17-14. Washington State leading Stanford. On the fumble. He was able to pick it up and run in untouched. James Williams will watch this one sail through the end zone. Well, Luke Falk is heading back out, and you know what? You ever have a checklist, things to do?
If I was more organized.
Well, this is what this guy is doing. Washington State records, Pac-12 records. He got the passing yards today. The wins as a starter. He will not get that in the Pac-12, but touchdowns. Wow. He's 2 away from tying, 3 away from being the all-time Pac-12 leader. Luke Falk down the sideline, incomplete, looking for a flag. Tavares Martin, no flag is thrown. On the coverage was Quentin Meeks.
And that's the real interesting thing about Luke Falk. You look at that checklist and all the things that he has done, and he got pulled last week. And that was the second time he got pulled this season, and that's the adventure of playing for the Pirate, Mike Leach. He giveth, he taketh away. All of those stats are because of Mike Leach's offense and Luke Falk's toughness, but he'll pull you too if he doesn't like what you're doing.
Hand off to Morrow. And Morrow runs into a whole bunch of white jerseys.
And we didn't have time there with the threat of Washington State snapping the ball, but no question that Quentin Meeks got away with one. That was pass interference down the Stanford sideline. Maybe a little bit of a makeup call off the one we had in the end zone.
3rd and 8 coming up here for Washington State, and this could be one of those momentum moments in the ball game. If Stanford can get a stop here on 3rd and 8, force the punt, all of a sudden they get the ball back after scoring that touchdown. Falk throws over the middle, and that is juggled, they're going to say. So the forward progress is going to be short of the first down marker.
That's a great spot.
Tay Martin is the one who held on to it for the catch. Ben Edwards made the hit.
Yeah, great picture here of Edwards closing in. You can see the ball. Well, we could see it from our angle. It looked like it was coming loose. So normally the forward progress would be right there. It did look like that was bobbled. They're probably going to take a look at this spot.
The short of the line to gain is under review.
Mike Leach is already helping him out on the far sideline. He knows where to spot it.
You know, the one thing that really blows me away as Mike Leach works on the officials some more is just how long Luke Falk will stand in the pocket to throw that ball. Man, does he hang out there forever.
Yep, and the key is control and forward progress stopped. Man, by that look, it does look like he secures it.
Yeah, I didn't see the ball move as much as I thought it did.
And maybe it was just a shot that Edwards gave him. Looked like it moved the football.
Moved his head.
Yeah. But the headline had a great angle. This might be a little bit better for us to see. That looks like he secures it to me. Should we bring in Coach Pereira?
Again, the call on the field was that it was juggling, and that's why he comes up just short. It would be 4th down if the call stands. Edwards came in, closed quickly.
I'm saying this gets overturned. What's your vote, Petros?
I'm saying it stays, just to be a contrarian here on the Palouse. I'm saying they keep it 4th and short, but Leach is going to go for it.
After review, the ruling, the receiver did bobble the ball. It was short of the line to gain. 4th down.
By the way, that's Petros standing. That's even a confirm right there.
He didn't say confirm. He didn't say stands either. That's actually violation of protocol.
Sour grapes.
Now it will be interesting, Petros, exactly what you said.
Was that a monumental moment? Was that the first mistake?
Let's just move on.
Was that the first incorrect call by Mark Helfrich this year?
Absolutely not.
He's been right all year.
There's 1,000 fans that can verify it. I've made a million mistakes.
Are they going to go?
4th and inches.
No.
They've got their punter Kyle Sweet out there.
Had a shank in the first half to overcome. Stanford in a safe defensive look. And they might. Let's count up Stanford Cardinal. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. They've got 12 Cardinal on the field. And it's 1st and 10.
Substitution, 12-minute formation, defense.
Unbelievable.
That's one of those things. You're in safe defense mode. That means your defense is on the field. You substitute in one guy as the returner, usually to replace, and I can't count it up, but there's 7 in the box, plus the guy running the Cougar. The 2 corners, number 9 right here on the hash mark, and then the returner. That's 12.
That is not characteristic of the Stanford Cardinal. You do not see them make those kinds of logistical mistakes in a football game.
You know at Stanford they can add.
Without a doubt. And subtract.
So instead of a punt, it is now 1st down. Falk gets hit again, gets rid of it to Tay Martin, who again hangs on as he gets hit by Jordan Perez, but picks up 5.
Yeah, Perez is doing a great job adding himself to the rush. They're eventually only bringing 3 guys, but they're varying the look so much. Watch 15 here. I'm sorry, he actually finishes the tackle. The 3-man rush, that was Phillips that time creating the pressure. They've gotten more pressure with the 3-man rush than anything else.
Hand off to Morrow. Morrow gets wrapped up and brought down by Harrison Phillips. He is just so strong.
Yeah, it's over once he gets his hands on you, like we said. And that play did look like it could go for a little more. It's setting up pretty well for Morrow, but Stanford has a really good ability to recover and fit in the run game a little late in these situations, because these Wazoo Cougars hit it quick when they run the ball.
3rd and 1. Morrow again trying to change directions, and he's going to be down shy of the first down marker. Yeah. Dylan Jackson was the first one there. And so now here you are again, decision time.
I think they're going for this. I think Mike Leach is going to be a little bit impatient and go for it. Malik Antoine did a great job of turning that play back. He was number 3 coming off the edge right there for Stanford.
Stanford with some late substitutions. Under Mike Leach, one of the best teams in 4th down conversions. Falk throws, picked off, intercepted by Okereke. Going the other way, Okereke to the end zone, touchdown! 51 yards. Disbelief here in Pullman.
Yeah, the Martin Stadium crowd is silenced. Okereke sits on the route. Again, a stick route that Washington State runs a ton of. Out of that motion, they're rolling the tail back to the field. It becomes an empty situation. Okereke, number 20, right on the bottom of the Cougar, just sits and triggers, and he does the rest. Great athletic move to avoid Luke Falk.
And a great route to the end zone to get away from Morrow, because Morrow is one of the fastest guys on the field, and Okereke took that route. He couldn't get to him.
Jet Toner for the extra point. Usually it's a number 20 doing the scoring. It's Bryce Love. Now it's the other number 20 for Stanford, Bobby Okereke, on 4th down, intercepting Luke Falk and taking it the distance the other way. The pick 6 to give Stanford the lead here in Pullman. 21-17. Stanford now leading Washington.
Well, here's the pick 6. Again, Okereke is right on the bottom of the Cougar, the bottom left of the W in Cougar. Just sits on the stick route by number 6. That's Jameer Calvin. He jumps it, and he's gone. Great move on Luke Falk. Great finish by the Stanford defense. And David Shaw said they have to win one ugly, scoring on defense. A little kick ball pickup, walk-in touchdown by Costello. That's a pretty ugly way to win.
Bailey kicking off again through the end zone. Well, how's this for symmetry? Earlier, we saw number 20 on offense for Stanford, Bryce Love, taking one to the house, 52 yards. And then, just moments ago, number 20 on defense, Bobby Okereke, taking one 52 yards to the house. That's pretty cool.
Tidy.
Empty backfield here for Washington State. On 1st down, high throw, incomplete for Tavares Martin.
Now, what can they do to settle Luke Falk down?
Well, right there, that's what they did right there. Threw him a rhythm, bread and butter out route. He was falling away and missed it.
Look at those number 20s. It could be less confusing. we have some people with some theories as to why we don't need double numbers in college football.
I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, every play-by-play guy in the world.
Falk on the slant again, looking for Martin, incomplete. Maybe little alligator arms got scared about taking a hit from Jordan Perez going over the middle.
Did you just drop a catch the ball Dino arms on that guy?
I think, again, it's Luke Falk just a fraction late. You can see him hesitate there. The void is between those two defenders on the hash. When you get inside the hash, that's when I'd have alligator arms too.
Hey, I thought Martin did have some Dino arms there, Justin.
2 running backs in, Williams and Wicks.
Luke Falk, the first 2 throws of this drive looked like last week, both late and off balance.
Falk throws. Oh, talk about someone getting hit. That's Kyle Sweet, and they take it away. Now they're going to say incomplete.
Those Stanford guys are smart. Watch the defenders hold him up while the other guys dig the ball out. That's a great job by the secondary, coached by Dwayne Aquino.
It's Alameen Murphy that comes in to make the hit. First, it's a great job of getting open. That ball might not have been intended for him. It might have been intended for Isaiah Johnson-Mack, but Alameen Murphy, number 4, comes in and just lays the wood there. Clean hit.
Shot, and then Reed holds him up. Looked like a good call as that ball was loose on his shoulder and called incomplete.
Kyle Sweet took a hit, too.
Leach liked that replay.
They better look at this shit.
Wasn't complaining as much that time.
Second charge timeout, Washington State. 30 seconds.
I actually think they called the timeout. I think he wants them to look at it.
Exactly. It's a modified challenge. Yep, you're exactly right.
What does he want?
The only thing that they could be arguing is whether his knee was down.
Right.
And then
But he never had possession.
that's the problem.
Stanford is reporting number 2 changing jerseys to number 29, 2 to 29.
He cannot challenge this. He's already lost a challenge, so
Right.
the timeout is kind of a pseudo challenge.
Exactly.
We're saying, but he's not going to get a catch on this because Sweet never controlled the ball at all.
Yeah, it's never firmly under control. He's a smart guy trying to use all his resources.
But
it
smart
does lose a
guy,
timeout.
And that'll be now 1 timeout
Yep.
remaining.
Mike Leach never wanted to worry about timeouts.
Sweet to punts.
Just after getting
Fair
decked.
catch is signaled and made by Trent Irwin, who had changed his number to number 29. While we have a moment, a word from our sponsor, Duracell. And no, that was not a jersey malfunction. That was designed.
Talking about smart guys, you got Leach, and then you got Stanford, and all of their very interesting nuances. The Velcro jerseys are a new one this year, I believe.
Bryce Love is back in. We were wondering how is that ankle after he went down before. He is back in at tailback. Takes the handoff here. And Love able to spin and fall to the 39. Gets 3. Robert Taylor with the tackle.
Dalton Schultz is going to be happy after this one's over. He is having a tough time in there, as has everybody in the country, blocking Hercules Mataafa. Great rally by the front 7 to get Love on the ground, setting up 2nd and 8.
Mataafa is just so fast, so physical. His body is so alive whenever the ball is snapped, and it seems like it becomes more to life on 3rd downs.
Watch a screen here to the field.
Costello.
Roll out.
That ball batted down. Pressure applied by Nnamdi Oguayo.
Be interesting to see what Stanford tries to do to maintain this lead. They have not had offensive rhythm in this football game. You talked about ugly, Coach. The pick 6 and the fumble pickup by Costello. That's been the second half.
They haven't had offensive rhythm. They haven't been able to run the ball.
Right. And that formation, how they were aligned, they run a screen out of that a ton. They ran a little rollout, and the way Washington State is pressuring from the edge, they'll never get outside that.
3rd and 8. Costello, low throw. And they're going to say it is a catch for Irwin. But he's shy of the 1st down marker. Now they're saying no catch. The ball hit the turf.
Trent Irwin has made some acrobatic catches already in this game. He tries to get down and get that one, and it looked like he got down, but it got through.
Great picture, both of the drop, and then the side judge seeing that from way back, making a defiant, correct call.
And the snow falling looked pretty as well.
Yeah. And now Jake Bailey on to punt, who's been awesome so far today punting. No punt to Jamal Morrow, who's back at his own 10. Morrow fielding it, and that was a heck of a play by Morrow, a dangerous play, but to make that, Brandon Simmons there on the tackle, 48-yard punt. That one could have been going even further had Morrow not been able to pick it up like a shortstop.
Simmons ran through 2 blocks right there. Great play.
Well, look at the Pac-12 standings. Again, the importance of this game in the Pac-12 North. We talked about the round robin with Stanford, Washington State coming up in the month of November. In the Pac-12 South, you've got USC and Arizona. James Williams in the backfield here on first down. And Williams able to break some tackles, and Williams will get 11 yards as he gets tackled by Frank Bunkum.
That's a nice job by Luke Falk there, checking to the run. Stanford had a 5-man box, 4 down linemen, 1 linebacker. The left tackle in that case, Andre Dillard, does a great job cutting off the backside, and a good vertical push by Williams.
Didn't need to spin there, but he did.
Yeah.
Falk moving backwards, throws high, dangerous, incomplete.
And at a certain point, Luke Falk's just got to eat the ball. That is, I know he doesn't want to do it, but man, that is tough. This guy gets hit so much. That time it was Jordan Fox coming on the bull rush, and he tries the old jump pass, but a little too high and not enough vertical.
Yeah, the fadeaway pass is not really good down the middle late. Had his back here to the boundary as just checked down clean.
Falk again pressured this time. He will go down. Sacked by Joey Alfieri. Alfieri didn't play in the first half because of targeting. He's back, makes his presence felt. A loss of 9.
He comes off the left side of the screen. James Williams tries to pick him up. Should probably cut him right there.
Yeah.
But a great job by Alfieri, just staying alive, working hard. Joined by Phillips to finish him off.
Nice bull rush by Alfieri, knowing he had a back on him and that he could bulldog that back into Luke Falk, who's not very mobile, likes to stand right there and make his reads.
And they will not get the snap off in time as this third quarter will come to a close. 3rd and 19 for the Cougars to start the fourth quarter. But the third quarter belonged to the Cardinal. An offensive touchdown, a defensive touchdown. They lead by 4 as we go to the... Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Volkswagen. Nothing better than seeing a 6'4", 285-pound defensive lineman getting his groove on.
Oh, that's the best dancer in Omaha, Nebraska.
Little shovel pass here to James Williams on 3rd and very, very long. And it's the dancer, Harrison Phillips, with a tackle. And David Shaw, the Stanford Cardinal, 45 straight wins when leading after 3 quarters. That is the longest active streak in the FBS.
And maybe it's the Stanford defense that's been doing it, but Luke Falk has really struggled in the last couple possessions.
It's been tough. His last 6 passes, that was the only completion on the shovel pass. 4 incompletions at a pick 6. Got to find a way for him to rally.
Kyle Sweet to punt. Trent Irwin. He will field it at the 31. Makes a couple of guys miss. Still on his feet. Irwin, that's a really good return. To pick that ball up and make all those guys miss and still get positive yards. The guy they call Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Now he's got to change the jersey.
Got a Velcro back to 2. Yeah, Kyle Selly, the long snapper, all the way down there and on the tackle.
Watch him put the arms up like Batman. There you go.
Come on, come on, get it off, get it off.
The equipment guy hates this, by the way. The equipment guy goes and meets with the special teams coach. He's mad all week. He's got to fit it, run off, get made fun of on TV. Yep, the whole thing.
Innovation and Stanford.
It's not the first thing they've done. 1st and 10. Pass is caught by Connor Weddington. And Weddington will get back to the line of scrimmage. Jalen Thompson was right there.
That's a pretty textbook tackle right there. That's how you do it. If you want to get a guy on the ground, go tackle big with your chest. Have your feet follow you and wrap your arms around the gentleman. At that time, Jalen Thompson out of Downey, California, Downey High School, with a great fundamental play.
No question. And that gentleman runs 4.3 if you don't get him on the ground.
Bryce Love off the toss. Tries to turn it up. And their defense has done such a good job bottling up Bryce Love. That's a loss of 2, his 6th negative run of the game. Justice Rogers there on the tackle. And guys, let's bring this up because Bryce Love, he's back from injury in this game, missed the game last week, got hurt against Oregon. This was a game where he had a chance to make that push for the Heisman Trophy, right? It's a day game, national television. Yeah. He's had 1 run, that's it.
If this is your first view of Bryce Love, you're absolutely right. You're not wowed. You did see the 52-yard home run, but this is exactly what David Shaw talked about. We have to do just enough with everybody else. And right now, defensively, they've been great. Special teams have been an equalizer. And KJ Costello just needs to do enough.
Costello completes the pass to one of his tight ends, Colby Parkinson. And Parkinson up to the 47 is going to be a yard shy of the first down marker. Marcus Strong with the tackle.
And he was fighting for it.
Yeah, that's where you want Parkinson to feel the change right there and just be physical, but great strong tackle by Marcus Strong.
There's Marcus Strong fighting with the big tight end, 6'7", 230. That's not easy to get on the ground. And he tried just about everything. The old whale breaching move.
And now one of the players of the game for Stanford on, and Jake Bailey.
Was that Glenn Pop Warner with the whale breach?
Jamal Morrow back. A high punt, fair catch.
Another one inside the 10.
At the 6-yard line. 48-yard punts on senior day. Luke Falk trying to bring his team back, trailing by 4 here in the 4th quarter.
Dab? Is that what he's doing there?
Yeah, dad doing a dab. I think that's what it's called, but
dislocated elbow.
It's an ugly injury.
Yeah.
Starting at the 6 are the Cougars. On first down, the handoff to James Williams, and Williams gets tackled by Justin Reed, and that's a big-time tackle again by the big-time safety.
Great call by Falk. You watch the left guard and center, little fold block, opening up for James Williams on the backside. Stanford almost baiting them in to run the ball. Great job getting Williams on the ground. Again, Reed has had a great day.
Now Jamal Morrow in at tailback. Luke Falk has 6 career 4th quarter comebacks. Trying to engineer his 7th, his last time playing here at the Palouse, and a flag is thrown as he gets sacked. Jordan Perez and Jovan Swan.
Holding offense number 69. That penalty's declined, result of the play, 2nd down.
So it's a loss of 4 on the sack. The reason why you do that, you also lose the down.
They got Frederick Mawingoa, the center. Another player from American Samoa for Washington State. They've been logging a lot of travel miles.
Yeah, Joe Salavea, D-line coach here, did a great job recruiting the islands everywhere. Now the D-line coach at Oregon.
2nd down and 14. Pressure coming up the middle. Good job picking it up by Morrow. Falk got chased down by Peter Kalambai.
That's the 2nd time Kalambai been right there, and Falk's done a nice job, at least this time, getting rid of it, setting up a manageable 3rd and 15.
Every time he drops back, he's getting harassed now. And these guys, Morrow, they're having a hard time picking up the blitz, although he did a good job that time picking it up. There's Kalambai getting the legs of Falk. He gets it away just on time.
Kalambai was a high school teammate of Riley Ferguson, who went to Tennessee and now at Memphis in North Carolina.
Now on 3rd and 14. Falk throwing over the middle, completes the pass to Tame Martin for the 1st down. What a huge completion.
Exactly.
You said manageable.
Beautiful job by him of just fading in the pocket just a little bit, kept his feet underneath him, and a great job getting all the way across the formation by Tame Martin, just beyond the chains. Watch Falk just to his left and then finish to his right. That is a big-time throw. As long as you know there's no backside defender for the Cardinal.
Huge 3rd down conversion there for the Cougars. Handoff to Williams. Williams up to the 40. Gets 9 yards, 2nd down and 1 coming up, and that should open up the playbook big time here for Washington State.
Williams came into this game with 78 carries, which is a lot for Mike Leach to give a back.
Absolutely.
And you can see why there. That was really one of the first times Washington State's backs have not gotten what they needed right off the bat into the line of scrimmage, reset his feet, and then get back up the field for a very nice run.
5 receivers in on 2nd down and 1 here for Washington State. The quick pass swung out wide. And the 1st down for WSU Martin. Quentin Meeks on the tackle, but they'll move the chains.
Yeah, that's like power run for Washington State, right? The screen for the 1st down. It also feels, Petros, how you were talking about Williams in the run game. That's a break for Luke Falk, not getting pressured, not getting hit. Get the ball out of his hands and get a positive gain. He'll survey the look right here. Might check run. It's a 5-man box for Stanford. Watch that linebacker up on top kind of go in and out of the front.
Again, the quick pass,
Great
this
job.
time to Tay Martin. And Tay Martin gets shoved out by Justin Reed. An 8-yard pickup, 2nd down and 2.
And you're at a tough spot if you're number 24, Quentin Meeks, out there trying to defend it because you have a blocker in your face and you're trying to get after the ball carrier.
And the guy there, number 20, that guy running from the inside out, Okereke, the touchdown maker, that's the guy that Luke Falk is keen on whether to hand the ball off or throw the screen. Looked like Stanford maybe got away with a face mask.
2nd down and 2. It seems like Luke Falk, who is struggling in that 3rd quarter, is picking it back up again. Hands it off here to Williams. And Williams fighting for that yard. It looks like they're going to give it to him.
Nice
Bobby
job.
Okereke with a tackle.
Yep, nice job by Williams just getting physical there. There was nothing there. A rare handoff into a 6-man box. That was a bad look as far as Mike Leach in terms of run game priority. But it sets them up here. They're probably in 4-down territory starting now if they don't go backwards.
And Williams is their 2nd largest back. Gerard Wicks is their biggest. But they're right at the 50 around here right now. What is it going to be like if they can continue this drive? Can they punch it in on Stanford? It's been a while since they were able to do that.
Falk to Morrow. Tackled by Frank Buckham. Morrow was lined up in the slot. He gets 20.
They were practicing that yesterday in their walkthrough. That's something Mike Leach loves to do. That's called a Texas route to the back, right over the middle, and what a guy to throw it to.
Such a weapon when you can run the football like that, run a route like that, go up and get the ball, and then get yards after the catch. That's what makes him and James Williams such threats, especially when they're backfield together.
10th play of the drive coming up here for the Cougars. Morrow goes out in motion. They'll throw it out to him. Morrow lowers that shoulder and lowers it to Alameen Murphy. Picks up 15.
Falk's kind of feeling it right here, and Mike Leach is a play caller. They're trying to take a little double move on a bubble screen look, and they tried to hit it vertically. Stanford matched that. He checked it down to Morrow, and again, great finish by he and Alameen Murphy being physical.
Pretty good tackler.
Very good.
It's 1st and 10 from the 11. Falk dumps it off. Calvin to the end zone. Touchdown. Jameer Calvin, 11-yard touchdown.
So we wondered if Stanford could punch it in down the stretch, or excuse me, that Wazoo could punch it in down the stretch on the Stanford defense, which has been very salty. That looked pretty easy for Luke Falk.
Such a great answer. The left side, the 2 receivers go vertical. He fills it up with the shallow route there by Calvin, and a little into the end zone, touchdown. That was the play Luke Falk didn't make last week. The shallow that's wide open, take that all day long, and your guy can do something with it.
Eric Powell, the extra point, makes it a 3-point game. Don't forget, they were facing a 3rd and 14, and they got 17 yards to extend the drive. And now Luke Falk able to find Jameer Calvin from 11 yards. And Washington State goes up by 3. Went 94 yards over 11 plays, including that 3rd and 14 conversion. Eric Powell to kick off. This is returnable. It's Cameron Scarlett. Scarlett has a hole. Here goes Cameron Scarlett. One man to beat. It's the kicker. And the kicker, Eric Powell, brings him down at midfield.
And that's the second time he's done that. Scarlett had a nice return on the last one, and Powell had to track him down.
Cameron Scarlett, who's had a couple of big returns today, almost took one to the house, but it's the kicker, Eric Powell, saying, not if I'm here.
Come on, kicker.
The Couve, Vancouver, Washington, just outside of Portland, Oregon.
They talked about he was a great ping pong player yesterday. He was a great tackler today.
On first down, it's Bryce Love. Love trying to break the tackle. He cannot. Logan Tago.
Well, Bryce Love has not, I don't want to say he hasn't looked like himself today coming off the ankle injury, because you just saw there his legs were firing, he had his power, and he looked great on his 52-yard touchdown run. I really think it's Washington State and what they've done defensively, and now we have a new quarterback in.
Big quarterback in combination with Love, maybe some sort of read package.
Ryan Burns in. We saw him run earlier today. Second down and 8. Burns will keep it. And he gets gang tackled at the 46-yard line. Jalen Thompson, Justice Rogers combined for the tackle.
And you know how you have to feel good about Alex Grinch's defense. He's the D coordinator here on the Palouse for Washington State. Big guy like Burns, you saw all those players rallying to the football again, just like they were doing at the beginning of the game when they had all their fire and their juice in them. Now they're doing it in the fourth quarter. This has been a good defense all day.
3rd and 5. The snow begins to fall once again. Bryce Love is in at tailback.
And Costello at quarterback, 2 tight ends up top.
Bryce Love runs into his own man. Looked like he ran into his center, Jesse Burkett.
They definitely don't need any help from the Stanford offensive line to tackle these guys in the end zone, in the backfield. Looked like Hall, or potentially the center there, creating an issue. Yeah, it's A.T. Hall, the right tackle.
Excuse me, yes.
And does he get credit for a tackle for loss right there?
Why not? Mike Leach told us something interesting yesterday in regards to Stanford. He said, stay out of their way. And because they're big and strong. That's what Washington State's defense has done today. They've gotten around these big bodies and made plays in the backfield.
Absolutely.
So now Jake Bailey on to punt. Jamal Morrow is back. Stanford has those 3 timeouts remaining. High punt. Will it be too far? And Stanford, they could not get there. That was a beautiful punt, but it's going to go as a touchback.
Close.
The coverage team stopped.
Oh, they did. Jake Bailey has been so good. They just expected him to spin it like your sandwich.
The grooves just weren't there. A huge day for Washington State, trying to go 7-0 for the first time ever at home. And they're leading here in the 4th quarter at Martin Stadium. But the question right now, guys, is 4:21 to go, 3 timeouts remaining for Stanford. How does Washington State manage the clock?
Well, that's not been their strength under Mike Leach.
I think this is their best bet, this 2-back look with 2 great, the backs, the great thing about their backs is they can run the ball and they can block. So you can run the ball both ways. You're not one-handed, so to speak. And right as I say that, they get Gerard Wicks out of the game.
Now, you coached a speed type of offense, obviously, and called plays for it for a long time. This is the same kind of offense, not exactly the same, but similar. Running clock is very difficult at the end of the game for teams like this.
Well, yes and no. You can sit here right now, Luke Falk, the play clock's at 12. You just milk the clock, snap the ball still with 2 or 1 seconds left if you want to take it down that far. And then this is why Mike Leach has had some criticism over the years for stuff like this.
Falk throwing deep, and he takes a chance on the coverage. Was Quinton Meeks, was looking for WSU Martin.
It's a numbers game in their run game right there. Stanford has 6 defenders in the box. In the Mike Leach playbook, it says go to the one-on-one coverage, and there it is.
But that doesn't change at the end of the game?
Well, that's what the 2 backs does for you. It lets you dictate a little bit more.
So now,
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but now if you come up with a stop here and you're Stanford, call the timeout, stop the clock, and you got plenty of time.
That's why Mike Leach's concept of time is often criticized.
3rd and 5, he's passing, throwing over the middle. Caught, first down. Jameer Calvin has a touchdown in the game. That goes for 15 yards.
The key right there, Jamal Morrow coming across the backfield of Luke Falk's face, and a big-time cut of Jordan Perez. We criticized their protection earlier. Phenomenal job. Falk does a great job with his eyes downfield, finding Calvin, and a big conversion. Let that clock bleed.
Maybe this is a finesse offense, but these backs and receivers block. They get after it, and if you're Mike Leach, what does it matter? What does your concept of time matter when you can depend on your quarterback to pull it out on 3rd down?
On 1st down, the handoff to Morrow. And Morrow gets wrapped up by Okereke. Picks up 4. And at what point do you start calling timeouts? There's the first one by Stanford. With that timeout, time for today's progressive performance of the game. And it goes to Luke Falk. Falk, 34 of 48. His 28th career 300-yard passing game. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And guys, he had a lot of ups in the first half, down in the 3rd quarter, back up here in the 4th quarter.
I can't say enough. Petros talked earlier, his toughness throughout his career it's been unmatched really in this conference. Going all the way back, maybe Derek Anderson took a beating,
sure,
and then had great production as a senior. Going through that low lead, got 6 throws where he was getting beat up, including a pick 6, to convert 3rd and 10, to convert a 3rd and 9, convert a 3rd and 14, and put him in this position is big.
2nd down and 6. Pump fake. Falk gonna run up the middle, slides.
That's
and where do they mark him down? Where did the slide start? Let's see.
He wants a first down.
That's so close. 1st down.
Doing his best Khalil Tate impression. Again, they tried to get the screen and go. Stanford matched it on the outside, and all that was left for Falk was to go vertical. Great job. Right where the quarterback starts his slide.
Oh, yeah.
And they might take a look at that. There is a timeout called by Stanford. They might take a look at where he started the slide. A big player safety issue on both sides. You're trying to protect the defenders from taking a shot, obviously protect the quarterback from getting hit.
And he timed the slide pretty well because Jordan Perez was bearing down on him. He was going to give him a hit. And it does look like we are going to take a look at this.
Steven Strimling going over to speak with Jim Northcutt.
And this is a tough one right here for Luke Falk. You got to, again, just peek to the sideline. Jordan Perez bearing down on him. Right there is where he starts the slide. Really about maybe half yard back from there. It'd be interesting if there's enough to spot this any further back. It looks like the ball, again, it's where the ball is when he makes any motion to give himself up.
Yeah, probably about a half yard short.
Yeah.
But he's really shown us everything today. So much resiliency from Luke Falk. This is a guy, we talked about all the records, all the yards. Being pulled, he always comes back and finds a way to compete.
It would be interesting if they give Stanford the timeout back. They did not blow this dead beforehand.
After review, when the quarterback starts his slide, the ball is dead at that point. It was dead at the 47.5-yard line. It will be 3rd down at that spot.
You know what? The officials have done a good job here today.
No doubt. And there was no reviews in the first half. And all of a sudden, in the second half, it came down like the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune on the review booth.
What?
A little Shakespeare for you, Coach.
Love it. You never cease to amaze me, Petros Papadakis.
All right, so it's 3rd and 1 right now.
Shotgun team, and it's 3rd and 1 in the 4th quarter. This is tough.
2 running backs in. Morrow and Wicks.
And that just turns into a huge, huge turn of events if they can't convert here. Stanford was charged with the timeout, so only 1 left apiece.
2:44 to go. 3-point ball game. Hand off to Morrow. Morrow pulling with an extra effort. Gets the first down. What a second effort by Jamal Morrow.
Watch Gerard Wicks on Peter Kalambayi up top here, leading the way for Washington State to convert on 3rd and 1. So look at the left side of the screen. Kalambayi 34 meets Wicks. It's a great job. That's a tailback taking on a great defensive end. And then the will of Morrow to get the first down.
That reminds me a lot of a player you had, Coach, LaMichael James, who was not a big guy, but in short yardage situations, you had to trust him, and he would find a way to have some of the more powerful runs. Some of his best runs were very short. That was one of Jamal Morrow's best runs.
It's Morrow again. Takes across midfield.
A little confusion in the backfield that time.
Let's take a look at the road ahead here for the Cougars, sponsored by Coors Light. So the climb ahead into celebrations to follow. Climb on. 2 games remaining at Utah next week, and then at Washington for the Apple Cup on November 25th.
That'll be a heck of a game, and they've kind of been on a collision course all year long. They can finish this one and win those next 2. They are in the Pac-12 title game for Mike Leach. How about that?
4 on the play clock here. Mike Leach sees it, takes a timeout.
Washington State has used its 3rd and final timeout.
With 1:21 to go.
The center judge correctly holding the snap right there. Stanford is allowed to match personnel as Washington State gets aligned.
So they can just match personnel and take their time doing that, and you can end up with a delay of game.
They have to react immediately, and as soon as they see the substitution start, your boys at SC were legendary about that. The defensive tackle would walk like a half a mile a year from the middle of the field to the sideline and get everybody else
just big
time
guys,
to line up.
Coach.
No,
Just big
smart.
guys, big
That's
physical
smart.
guys.
Hey, guys, as we see David Shaw right now, let's look at this, okay? 198 total yards for Stanford today. 93 rushing yards. They won last week at Oregon State with 81 rushing yards. They did get Bryce Love back today. With the exception of 1 run, they haven't done anything on offense.
No, they haven't been the team offensively they were earlier in the season when Love was running on all cylinders. And I thought K.J. Costello would give him a little bit of a boost in that regard today.
And he did a little bit, and I think, you know, everybody always wants to blame. Let's give Alex Grinch and the Washington State defense, and really Mike Leach and the entire staff, a ton of credit for bouncing back when the world was ending, right, for everybody last week.
And
but they still have to close this thing out.
Yeah,
no
that's
doubt.
the final timeout right there by Stanford. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Stanford.
The upcoming schedule for the Cardinal. We'll have the game on Friday night in Stanford against number 12 Washington. That is now a must-win game if they cannot come back in this one. Then November 18th, the big game against Cal, and Thanksgiving weekend against number 3 Notre Dame.
Notre Dame always comes west at the end of the year. This year, not USC, to Stanford.
Obviously, the battle for the axe always big, but that's a gauntlet right there,
Man,
for Stanford.
All right, 3rd and 9. 1:15 to go. logic would say keep it on the ground to keep that clock going.
We don't live in the land of logic.
I would put this one on the ground without question. Punt the ball, make a backup quarterback essentially beat you 90 yards. Kick the ball out of bounds, make him defend 90 yards, put it in the hands of Alex Grinch and your defense, who have been phenomenal all day long.
Again, that is logical.
That is logical, sort of. I've been questioned about that again many times.
And they do have two backs in Morrow and Wicks.
Now it's going to be a play action pass for a touchdown or something. Something very Leachish.
It's Wicks on the carry. Wicks getting outside, and he gets tackled.
Now you bleed this all the way down. Take the delay if you're Washington State.
Wicks is down. Oh, you don't want to see that.
Yeah, not at any time, and especially a minute 3 left in a great battle.
Gerard Wicks, senior, last game here on the Palouse, already redshirted at a Long Beach Poly High School. They put more players in the NFL than any other high school in the history of the world. The Jackrabbits.
His mom works for the LAPD.
He's trying to get down on a knee.
He's trying to stay in bounds.
Staying in bounds, and his leg got kind of rolled up under him there, and is holding the knee, which is not what you want to see.
So the clock should wind here. It's a 25-second play clock because it was an offensive injury. That was a defensive injury. It would have been pumped to a 40-second play clock.
So again, inside the mind of Coach Mark Helfrich, he said, take the delay of game right here. Jay Tyler.
Absolutely. I would not snap this. You get all 25 seconds in this case of the play clock. So right here, just watch it run out, back up. The 5 yards doesn't hurt you.
They do snap it. And they kick it out of bounds. And that's to be marked out at the 14-yard line.
Nice.
So 35 seconds left. They only need a field goal. But KJ Costello, who's only 9 of 17 for 105 yards, will take over with no timeouts remaining. Bryce Love, 16 carries, 69 yards, not even in there. They've got the fullback Daniel Marks in for some protection.
No question. Remember, that's a substitute left tackle in Devery Hamilton. We'll see if that pays off. Frankie Louvu on the pass rush right now. Dropping out.
Costello has to get rid of it. He does. Costello was being hounded and taken down by Nnamdi Oguayo. But that incompletion stops the clock at 29 seconds.
What a great rush by Nnamdi Oguayo coming off the edge and really almost getting Costello down. He did it on Hall, the right tackle, giving it up that time, Coach.
Yeah, great 3-man rush. They show a 4-man pressure. Rush 3, dropped Louvu out. That time we'll see if they switch it up. Bring Louvu and drop the field guy out this time. Still a 3-man rush.
Costello steps up over the middle, incomplete, was looking for Dalton Schultz. Are you surprised at all they're looking over the middle here? No timeouts?
You've got to find a seam. That's the beautiful part. If you're Washington State, to be able to create pressure with a 3-man rush. That's 8 guys now in the drop, and there's not a lot of creases.
This defense has been so impressive all day. Stanford might not look themselves. I think it has a lot to do, like you said, Coach, with these Cougs.
Bryce Love comes in.
Same defense.
Throws. Picked off. Intercepted. Frankie Louvu playing in front of his parents for the first time. Intercepts it to ice the game. What a moment for the Louvu family.
Frankie Louvu with his partner in crime, Hercules Mataafa, introducing himself to KJ Costello. Watch Mataafa come off the edge. right there, hits Luvu right between the 5 and the 1. And that's going to do it for just a complete big-time bounce-back win for the Cougs.
And Luvu was all over it from the start. It was Trent Irwin that Costello was trying to find, and that ball was right behind Luvu, and he read his eyes.
Frankie Luvu's father, Verese, his mother, Ia, 3 brothers and sister, all made the trip to see him play his final game here in Pullman, Washington, and they just got to witness him make the interception to beat Stanford. Wow.
Great emotion from Luke Falk right there after they killed the clock, pumping his fist, loving up his O-lineman. Certainly a tip of the cap to an unbelievable player in Harrison Phillips. Great win for Mike Leach.
7-0 at home this season for the first time in school history for the Cougars. A 24-21 victory for Washington State. For those of you on Fox, after this commercial break, you'll see Michigan State and Penn State. For those of you on Fox Business Network, we say so long. Justin Kutcher, Petros Papadakis, Mark Alfred. See you later.